So this morning, rant we'll say is, you know, there's a lot of no kings protests coming. I guess this weekend, all over the state of Florida. I'm sure all over the country, but obviously I only see the local news here, um, and it kind of drives me nuts on this whole process. And it's the reason I say that is because one, obviously, as a vet, we fought for the rights and, signed an oath to defend the Constitution. So you have your right to protest, right? Now, the problem is, yet again, this is such a division fucking tactic, right? Because they're doing this no kings protest, and I think they're doing it for the wrong reasons. I'm actually 100% for it. I 1,000,000% believe in the No Kings protest. A lot of people take it in a literal sense. It's not. To me, it's not a literal sense. Obviously, we don't actually have a fucking king in the U.S., so it's not uh, the literal definition here. But people don't uh, agree with it because they're told not to agree with it, and these are the Trump tards, right? Like, so all the Trump tards are sitting here and they're like, oh no, we don't live in this, blah blah blah. Trump's not a king. He's just doing what's necessary and all of that shit, right? And it's a complete fucking, you know, lie in my mind, right? Because it's like Trump is doing a lot of things that a king would do, right? Look, we're doing multiple military operations here. We're technically not in war, and he actually just got caught saying on camera, he's like, "Well, I'm not allowed to call it a war because war requires Congress to approve it." So, we're fucking around in Iran, we're fucking around in Venezuela, now we're fucking around in Cuba, and doing all of these things as military operations. We're not actually at war, and that's how he was able to get away with it. It's kind of funny, like if you think of the movie 300, it's like, you know, he's like, I'm not taking Sparta to war. I'm just going on a stroll through the woods, like it's pretty much that same thing. So, in that regard, like at the same time, I don't agree with what the left is saying either, obviously, because it's like, yeah, Trump's not a king. He's not a literal king. And if I show up to one of these protests and ask him, they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's a dictator. He's fucking, no, he's not. He's not doing that shit. He's very much still capable of being impeached." Which, sidebar, most people don't even know what that fucking means. Like, Bill Clinton actually got impeached. Multiple presidents have gotten impeached. It doesn't actually mean anything. That just means you're bringing charges against him. Like, that's, it doesn't mean what a lot of people think it means. It doesn't mean just because he gets impeached doesn't mean he's going to get kicked out of office. It doesn't mean that he's going to go to fucking jail. Like, anything like that. That just means that they're going to open, a court hearing against it, right? And you know that's kind of one of the big things that people misunderstand there. um, but to the left's point, like, I do agree with the No Kings protest. Like, I do agree in a different sense, because it's not just a No Kings. I'm looking at the government as a king, because the government in my mind has fucking overstep their boundaries so goddamn far that it's not even funny, right? Like, these fucking people literally think they are above the laws that they're creating. They think that they uh, aren't subject to those fucking laws, and that's bullshit. So that's where I actually do believe in the No Kings protests. Like, it's real, and we need to do it. We need to bring attention to this. We need to start holding, the government accountable. That's why I really liked the Doge campaign, right? Like, I mean, I don't give a shit what you think. I'll never drive a Tesla. Um, I don't have Starlink. I don't, kiss Elon Musk's ass at every fucking turn of the, key, like most Trump tards or, most Tesla drivers do. But at the same time, it's like, I did agree with what they were doing, and look at the fraud and look at the, money that they did uncover, right? Like, so I agree with that, and we need to do more of that. We need to do more of that. But at the same time, it's like I said, if I go to one of these protests, just as an outsider, not obviously a political affiliate, If I go to them, I'm going to be able to ask these people, you know, uh, who's your representative? 90% of them aren't going to know, especially because like local here, it's going to be happening on college campuses. And let's be honest here, most college kids don't have a fucking clue what they're talking about. Somebody posted on Facebook, hey, be at this fucking time at this place, blah, blah, blah. That's all they're going to do. It's against Trump. They won't actually have any, concept of what it's about. They won't know what they're actually protesting for. They're just going to know, hey, we're going against Trump, and that's why they're going to show up. So, to my point, like I'll be able to, I could go up there and I guarantee you, I could ask them, who's your representative, who's your senator, and they're going to fucking stare at me blankly. I can ask them, when's the last time you went to a town hall meeting, city hall meeting, town hall meeting, anything, and I could ask them, hey, what means of communication are you using to talk to your representatives? What means of communication are you using to talk to your senators? How have you reached out? Have you went social media status? Have you wrote an actual letter? Probably not. Have you sent an email? All these people have emails and stuff, and dedicated offices. Like, have you, actually reached out to them? Have you done anything? You know, and I guarantee you, majority of the answers are going to be no. They just show up to do their little weekend protests. We call them weekend warriors, and that's it. They go and disrupt all the folks who don't want to be involved in it, just to try and bring, you know, light to a situation that they don't even know about, right? Like they don't even know what they're protesting for. They don't actually know. Like when you look back to when Trump first got in and there was all these massive protests about him and, oh, he's a convict and blah, blah, blah. And, people like a shit ton of reporters would go up to him, okay, well, what's he a convict for? Like, what did he get convicted of? And they're like, I don't know. They all call him racist, and they're like, okay, well, just give us one instance of him being racist, one solid point of him being racist, and they're like, I don't know exactly, because we're being so influenced by social media, by news outlets, by journalists, essentially, because even now, like I've seen there's actual jobs out there for social media curators and shit like that. Like their entire job is to post shit on Facebook and X for you or Instagram. Like that, come the fuck on. What, like, is that seriously a job? Like we're seriously at that point now. So that's kind of the problem, is because people don't do individual research. And to be fair, on that, a lot of that is actually not even easy to do. It's hard to research something in an unbiased fashion, to create your own thought and interpret the information in your own way. Why? Because like every single platform, uh we all use Google. Hardly anybody's running down to the library to read a book or the local newspaper on this shit anymore. We use Google. Google is publicly funded, and investors are able to fund it. Guess what? They can change their algorithms. Like when the gun thing was massively big, you couldn't go on Google and search AR-15. Like it would push the fucking results. Anytime you look at a Google result page, there's like, we found 1 billion, blah blah blah. The pages that you will want, they're somewhere in like 900 million. Like they will push those results all the way to the bottom with a simple manipulation of an algorithm. Like, so it's easy. If you use Microsoft Edge, Bill Gates is a diehard Democrat. He's made that very clear. In his web platforms mimic that. So if you try to search anything pro-Republican on Microsoft Edge, it's good luck, right? Like, so yes, it does get very difficult, but just because it's hard doesn't mean that we can just move past it, or not do it, right? Like we still need to do the fucking research. We still need to show the fuck up. We still need to do the due diligence here, right? Like, don't just sit here and make snap judgments. But that's what they want, right? And that's, I blame journalists. I think while freedom of the press is a very real thing, and obviously should be protected. I think we've kind of let that one go too far, And I mean, look at Trump. Um, Quite a few of these, accusations didn't go anywhere, but quite a few of them did get settled. And quite a few of these people, I think he won a shit ton of money from BBC. I think CNN also. Uh, I think there's a few others, New York Times or some shit like that. But anyways, you know, he did win because these people are intentionally, you know, excluding certain things. They're intentionally excluding context, and so this like creates this bad, juju for him because it's like, oh, he said this. Well, if you watch the clip for like another 10 seconds, you would understand the actual context. If you watched the previous 30 seconds of the clip that they shared, you would understand the context. But they, with video editing, they're able to clip it down and have edit it to whatever the fuck they want to say. They'll create titles that are, and this is very common in our generation, that's clickbait, right? Like, oh my god, the title evokes emotion, and now you have to see what the fuck it is. And then if you read like the whole thing, a lot of times it's not what it is made to seem, right? Based on the title. So it's wild because we let them do this, and that's kind of where I'm going here on the grand scheme of things, because it's like I'm with the No Kings protest, because it's like we do need to go and hold the government accountable. There needs to be, for example, um, Congress cannot get Congress can't get tickets in DC. Like they can't get parking tickets and shit, right? Like that's bullshit, right? Like if I go to fucking DC, I can get a parking ticket. I'm the motherfucker that voted them into Congress. So why the fuck do they not get it and I do, right? Like that's bullshit. They think they're above it. When Obama pushed out the Obamacare shit, why is it that Congress didn't have the same insurance that they pushed on us? That's bullshit. Why, why is Congress allowed to trade stocks, the very stocks that they're regulating, the very stocks that they're influencing, and they're allowed to trade? That's complete bullshit, right? Like I don't have that advantage. I'm not sitting in these hearings. I don't see the actual paperwork that they're signing, right? Like so it's bullshit because they get afforded certain opportunities that the American people don't, regardless of political affiliation, right? Like so you know, that's where we need to step up. That's where I think the No Kings protest should be aimed at. Not just Donald Trump. It should be aimed at all of them. Every single fucking one of them should be targets in this fucking No Kings protest. We need to step in and we need to tell all of the fucking government that, you're not above the law. You're not better than me, right? And that's kind of where we're at a difference here, because it's like I said, they're most of these fucking kids and people that are going to show up to these No Kings protests, they're just there because Elon Omar or CNN told them to be there. They're just there because a liberal fucking professor said, "Oh yeah, we need to stand up for this," and blah blah blah. And like I said, I'm not a Trump tard. I'm also not a libtard. Like I'm the person that sits like right in the middle of the fucking plane. So everybody's so worried about left wing and right wing. I'm the guy who's like, I want to know who the fuck's flying the plane, right? Like that's where I'm at. And but people just don't do that. There's a song by uh, Tom McDonald, The System. He calls it The System, and he says, welcome to the world, baby boy. Let me paint you red, white, and blue. Pick your fucking affiliation. Like you're automatically, we are so ingrained in thinking that we have to be a liberal, we have to be a Democrat, or we have to be a Republican. No, you don't. Be whatever the fuck you want to be, right? Like, and that's my thing, right? Be whatever the fuck you want to be. Believe in whoever you want to be. Vote for whoever the fuck you want to be. And that's one of my issues. Like, I regularly write my senators and my Congress, and the first fucking thing they'll do, oh, well, would you like to join the party? Like, no, motherfucker, I'm not joining your party. I'm not donating to your party. Just because I fucking emailed you doesn't mean that I want to be designated in your fucking party. It means that, hey, you're doing some shit I don't fucking agree with. I'm gonna make sure my voice is known. That's what I'm fucking doing. I'm not reaching out to you because I want to give you money that I don't fucking have. Like, go fuck yourself. You guys in Congress and government make more fucking money than I'll ever goddamn make. You have pensions that I'll never fucking have, right? Like, go fuck yourself. I ain't giving you a fucking dime. Like, go talk to your fucking rich ass friends in your little Epstein party fucking islands that you guys go to and get money from them, you know? And that's the biggest thing, I guess, going full around there, because it's like, right now, just to further prove that I'm not any affiliation, um, both parties, right? Like, so Bill Gates, it's come out that Bill Gates, a diehard Democrat, fucking owner of Microsoft, it, massive, massive involvement in the fucking Epstein case. His ex-wife has come out and fucking publicly stated it, and he can't even do anything about it because it's not wrong. It's not a lie. So, there you go. She's already fucking letting us know that's the Democratic side. Look at fucking Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, on that fucking fact, was actually impeached for lying for doing his deal with Monica Lewinsky, but at the same time, it's like he's been a part of it, and it's really interesting because for the past 12 years, Hillary Clinton has been an absolute public nemesis of fucking Donald Trump, has attacked him at every fucking corner. Now, interestingly enough, I seen a clip the other day, as this Epstein stuff is rolling out. Now Hillary Clinton's going in and she's like, "Oh, well, I think Trump's doing a better job." Okay, like we're not supposed to know what's going on there. Like we're not supposed to see your kissing ass of the president, hoping that it'll get you some fucking leeway and you don't keep getting called to testify in the Epstein case. Like, yeah, none of us are smart enough to see that. But on the other hand, look at what fucking Donald Trump is doing. There's plenty of videos coming out, and I've like talked to ChatGPT and shit about this and stuff, and obviously everyone's like, oh, until it's proven in the court of law, motherfucker. The video was released, a video. If a picture's worth 1,000 words, then what the fuck is a video worth, right? There's videos of him groping women in public parties, standing right next to fucking Epstein out there, right? Like, I don't need a fucking 10-year court hearing to fucking know what the hell's going on. Rich playboy, fucking self-titled. He called himself the fucking playboy, right? Like a man who came out publicly saying he was gonna grab a bitch by the pussy and do all of this shit. Yeah, I don't need to fucking wait for the findings of a court hearing to make a judgment on the videos that were released, right? Like, we know what the fuck he was doing. Now, what's he fucking also doing? Look at this coincidence, right? That's what they want us to believe. Oh, it has nothing to do. They're not tied together. Oh, let's run down to Venezuela. Oh, let's get involved in Cuba. Oh, let's go to fucking Iran. You just got fucking exposed for all of your involvement in Epstein, all the fucking parties that you were going to. There you go, right? Like, I mean, we don't have to be fucking rocket scientists here to know, your involvement when you see the fucking video. You see the fucking pictures, right? Like, you don't need it. I know if I go into the inner city and I see, a bunch of girls hanging out on the corner, and, I don't need to individually interview each one of them to know if they're prostitutes. I don't need to go down to the inner city and see a guy smoking a fucking crack pipe or shooting up heroin and know that the guy sitting right next to him, I don't need to interview him and see if he's also a drug user, right? Like, you don't need to. It may not be fair, but it's like the people you surround yourself with, like, dude, like, you put yourself in that situation. So, don't question me. If you fucking flew to Epstein Island and you partied with Epstein at Mar-a-Lago fucking, manor, I don't need to fucking wait for the results of the court hearing that are heavily impacted by your very same fucking investors, right? Like, I don't need to wait for that shit. So, that's the thing. But I guess, I'll close out with this, is just say, the No Kings protest is absolutely justified, and we should actually be doing more of it. But don't be the weekend, warrior. Don't be the little fucking picket holder on the fucking, Saturday just because you have nothing else to fucking do. Like, get involved. Go talk to your representatives. If they're coming into fucking town, make sure you make it to the town hall. If your governor's coming, make sure you make it to the fucking town hall. That's where you get your fucking voice heard, right? Make sure you're sending those emails, and that because those are real actions. Holding a fucking sign on a Saturday afternoon isn't bringing awareness any more than what we already have. I guarantee you, with the media, with social media, you holding a sign on a fucking college campus this weekend isn't going to bring any more attention to the matter than what's already there, right? Like, it's just not. We have to attack Congress. We have to attack the government. Make sure that they're fucking listening. We have to force them to listen to us, not fucking, you know, hold our goddamn green signs while wearing an inflatable chicken suit on the fucking weekend. Like, that's just not the way. That's not going to get results. So, anyways, thanks for watching.